welcome back to Fireside Chats with AR Farina. We're in Sensibility Town, and today we're talking about the second villain of Sense and Sensibility, Willoughby. So we talked about Fanny, and she's awful, and I mentioned in the last episode that the thing about a good villain is the villain makes the plot go. If you don't have a really juicy villain that you can really hate for lots of reasons, then the story doesn't. You need that because you want to be on the side of your heroes, heroines in this case, but you also need them to do really terrible things because they also make the plot happen. It's just a boring story. So Willoughby is Marianne's first suitor, and you're sort of on his side at first. Eleanor is never really on his side, but Mrs. Dashwood is, Margaret is-ish. But of course, and Edward, who's just decent to everybody, is decent to everybody. Colonel Brandon is never on his side. Colonel Brandon knows stuff, knows his secret. And so Willoughby is this guy. He's like a charmer. And again, in typical Jane Austen fashion, we're not just talking about romance, but we're talking about class, and we're talking about money. And this guy, he's willing to do whatever it takes to be taken care of because he is a bit of a layabout. He's a bit of a cad. And he just wants to be like a kept man, and he's willing to do whatever. And he really probably genuinely likes Marianne, and that's maybe what makes him a bigger villain, is that for a while he's genuinely happy with Marianne. But of course he's lied to her a bunch. He's a huge turd to Brandon because Colonel Brandon knows his story and everything. But he also is just, in the moments where his guard is down, he's just really nice to Marianne. He's probably really nice to anybody else, but he is genuinely nice to her. So for a minute, he loves her. And they do the thing where she gives him a lock of her hair, which is the thing that they did because they didn't have pictures and stuff. So it was like they'd wear a lock of their hair around, and that was like a huge big deal. And Marianne does that. So of course that's like the pre-engagement. He hasn't proposed yet, but if you're asking for a lock of hair, you might as well start, hiring the caterers. So he does that, and then circumstances happen. Now there are circumstances he causes on his own. So that's again why he works as a villain, because he really gaslights Marianne. Like there's a third of the book where he's nothing but a gaslighter, and that word didn't exist in Jane's time. But if it had, she would have used it because that's what he does. But she writes him in such a way that he's so cold and he's so brutal. Like he's so the opposite of Brandon, and he's so different than Edward, and it's very stark, and it's because you see what a good man can do. You see several good men in this book, and then you see John Dashwood, who's not good nor bad, he's just a boob. And then you have Willoughby, who's genuinely evil. He takes somebody that he genuinely cares about, and then instead of doing the right thing, because the Dashwood women have already, they've come to this place, this realization in life, like money isn't everything. They've gotten over that. They live. Sir John takes care of them. He's really cool. Sir Middleton, he's a really great guy. They're living in this cabin. They're doing the best they can, and they're going to be okay. Like they don't need a ton. They're taking care of themselves. They're making their own food. They're doing okay. So for her to even just make an okay match, like they're not. They don't need. Sure, it'd be great if they could marry somebody rich and save the family. Willoughby sort of presents himself as that a little bit, but if he had just presented himself as just a guy, just a regular guy who did stuff and wanted to do things and wanted to marry Marianne, that could have happened. That could have been a really happy ending for her and for him. But that's, again, where his villainous ways come in, because not only does he not do that, is he unwilling to let himself do that, but he's also unwilling to, be honest. He's unwilling to own it. And there's just like the gaslighting, and it is brutal, and it is heartbreaking. He'll like stare her in the face. Like she's sending letter after letter, and she's getting frantic. And I'm not a Marianne apologist. I'm not a big fan of hers. But like she is like off. She is a mess, and you're on her side in those moments. Now, is she manic? Yes. Is she sending like too many letters? Absolutely. But you also feel for her because you get why she does that, because he really truly loved her, and then he just rips it away, and he is just the worst. So maybe not the worst villain of all of the villains that we'll meet throughout all of Austen. But boy, he's probably top 3. He's a really, really terrible guy, Willoughby. So there's your two main villains, right? So join us in a couple of weeks where we're going to talk about some of our supporting cast and how they sort of played part into us beginning that conversation of the feminist angle of Sense and Sensibility. Because I think it's interesting because in a book that's about a bunch of women, as all of Austen's books are, some of the supporting cast, some of the, as I mentioned, women don't really support women, and so that's really interesting commentary on how that works from a feminist angle. So we'll talk about that.